the seeds we have sown are part of what has germinated here. But as Ugandans, we're heading into an election season. And I, as a congressman who believes in the dream of Uganda, I remain committed to Uganda. I would try to do everything in my power that we can emerge stronger, more united, even if we go through a difficult election process. That is a commitment which Uganda People's Congress has had towards dialogue. We will always seek to pursue the dialogue option in order to overcome the difficulties, and difficulties will be there. There are areas where we don't agree on policy, but the greater good should be what should bring us together and seek to create a Uganda which will work for all its citizens today, tomorrow, and in the future. And therefore, I am here to demonstrate our commitment towards that better Uganda. We are not going to shirk from the responsibility. Whatever difficulties come, we are prepared and ready, willing to address them as best we can. And hence, on the dialogue platform, I hope through my colleagues and through you, Your Excellency, we have demonstrated our commitment to this dream. And we shall continue on this dream. But I wish to use this opportunity to highlight some areas where we may not agree with one another. But I'm going to take my final minute here to give a statement of where I stand concerning the teacher strike on UNATO. I, as a congressman, remain committed to quality education for the people or the children of Uganda. But I don't agree in the separation of scientists and art teachers. I have had great art teachers who have built me up, who have encouraged, and I believe that these teachers are playing an important role in developing the next generation of Ugandans. So as Congress, I want to put it on record, UPC stands with UNATO. That is not to say, Mr. President, that we will not seek to find other ways or other areas where we are on the same page. But on a policy platform, on this one, I wanted to make it clear to my members and to others, we may have different policy platforms, we may have different goals or whatever, but the ultimate goal is how we're going to develop Uganda.
Thank you.
And for Uganda People's Congress, I say we remain committed to Uganda, and I say all this for God and my country.
Thank you, President Uganda People's Congress. May we receive the President of the Forum for Democratic Change, Honorable Engineer Amuria.
We believe that the challenges afflicting this nation can be comprehensively addressed through dialogue, through discussion, through consensus. And that is what we believe in as a party, and those are the values we bring to IPOD. We want an IPOD, Mr. Chairman, that is inclusive, and we should ensure and find all ways to make this IPOD process inclusive and have ways of bringing everybody under the umbrella of IPOD for the good of this country. Mr. President, the last time I addressed an IPOD meeting was in 2018 in Munyonyo, and I did emphasize the idea of rule of law, constitutionalism, democracy, and good governance. I am glad that my colleagues have highlighted some of them. One of the challenges, Mr. President, as I conclude, one of the challenges we are facing as a country is increasing episodes of impunity in some spheres of life. Inexplicable arrests, inexplicable detentions, people being on remand for years. And Mr. President, you remember that time, I gave you an example of many Muslim sheikhs, Sheikh Wanjala, Sheikh Wasigu, who have been on remand for now 15 years. They cannot receive justice. But that's just one example. There are really many others. And we agreed that you cannot have a criminal justice system where people are arrested and investigations come later. It's a mockery of justice. So I want us as IPOD, Mr. President, to begin discussing and squarely engaging those ideas for the good of our country. I thank you very much, and I bring warm greetings.
A few views from the FDC. In 2009, we became part of the founders of IPOD. And our being here today underlines the fact that we as the FDC remain committed to dialogue. The dialogue that we envisage from this forum is meaningful dialogue. We envisage dialogue with respect for each other. We envisage dialogue where resolutions of the IPOD summit are implemented. We, in the opposition, have a responsibility to the peace and security of this country in the way we play our politics. But to a greater extent, Mr. Chairman of the IPOD Summit, it is you and the ruling party that has a greater responsibility to Ugandans. The elections in this country are around the corner. It is our expectation that you will lead the way in ensuring a peaceful election. I speak from a position of a participant. In fact, I was your political rival, Mr. President, as you remember. I went through hell during that election. And I do not like to see my successors going through such a situation. Secondly, Mr. President, even as we talk about dialogue, there is a dire need for us to reconcile this nation. Our country is broken apart on tribal, religious, and political lines. And we'll just be making a fun of ourselves, my dear friends, if we kept dialoguing without emphasizing reconciliation in this country. And reconciliation can take different forms. I speak today and do understand that there are a lot of people languishing in prisons. Some of them have waited for justice to be dispensed, and this justice is being delayed.
Thank you, thank you. If you can try to summarize.
Yes, I am going to summarize. My appeal to you, Mr. Chairman, is to exercise clemency. I would like to appeal to you, Your Excellency, that you exercise the prerogative of mercy, even for those who may be found at fault. And these should just merely be for the sake of not living in the past, but progressing this country forward. Finally, as I sit down, Your Excellency, you are aware that in an election, there are rules. And those rules, as the FDC, we will adhere to the letter.
Thank you.
We have candidates who will be traversing the country. And it's my expectation that the harassment that we normally face from the military and the police remains history, and that we may have a peaceful election.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
President
We will
FDC.
always be one Uganda, one people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. May we receive 30 years. I have not appeared at police for any reason. For any reason. Why? Because of that approach. Even in the last election, where we managed to take a member of parliament to parliament, there is no single member of People's Progressive Party who was arrested. Why? Because of that approach we are preaching to our members. And it is that we need to teach to the people of Uganda, that you can disagree. And this is what I always tell my fellow leaders in the party, that when you are addressing somebody, whether president, whether a president of another party, bear in mind that the person you are addressing, who you are criticizing, his wife referred to him as a husband. His children refer to him as a dad. Once you bear that in mind, then you will sieve your language to make sure that even when you have disagreed with me, or with the president, or with the speaker, you will not antagonize with that expanded family. Thank you. If we can adopt that, then this country shall be peaceful. Let me wind up. When we are in the summit meeting, Mr. President, you alluded to the cycle of our history. But I want to say this, that at one point in time, every time those who are in the opposition have worked in the same government at one point in time. And when they disagree with those in government, then they come in the opposition. Because they have served in the government, as they take credit for what went right during their time in that government, even when they disagree, they should take responsibility for what went wrong when they are serving in the same government. Thank you. It is the very reason why we need to dialogue, and nobody should give reason or point fingers to apportion all blames to one party, to one individual. We are all responsible for what has gone wrong, and we must be responsible to correct it. Thank you. For God and my country.
DP, take the leadership of IPOD. I want to announce that we shall leave the door of IPOD open. We are taking over the leadership of the institutions of IPOD at a difficult time. Our agenda will be to ensure that we have a peaceful election, a free and fair process, and that we shall continue to talk honestly about the problems we face, that we shall attack the problems that face Uganda rather than attacking each other, for God and my country.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of the political parties which are members of IPOD, the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, all the members of the delegations which are here. When I met the presidents quietly there, I just mentioned 2 points to them, or maybe 3 points. The first point is that I have been a close observer or a participant for the last 65 years as far as the politics of Uganda is concerned. I told them that I joined the DP in 1960. and I was a very active youth leader of DP. Then I joined UPC for 5 months. In 1970, but by 1965, we had started forming study groups in the universities, which were the precursors of what is now NRM. Now, in all that time, my observations are two. Number one is that politics must be like medicine. A political leader should be like a doctor. A doctor looking at patients. And this doctor will only help those patients if he makes a correct diagnosis of what the patients are suffering from. If he makes a wrong diagnosis and makes a wrong prescription, the patients will not get cured. They may even die. When it comes to society, it is the same process. You either identify the problems of the society correctly and apply correct answers, or you will not give them a solution. And that's why the NRM has identified the 4 principles which we keep talking about: patriotism, love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own good. Secondly, Pan-Africanism, love Africa. Why? Because you need it for your own good. I don't have time to go into the details, but we have explained this elsewhere. Thirdly, socio-economic transformation. We cannot go on with the pre-capitalist societies, traditional societies, and we think that we shall manage to survive in the future. And finally, democracy. We think with these 4, we shall succeed, and we have been able to move, as we have seen. In the last 40 years almost, the NRM has been able to revive the economy of Uganda, and although we have still problems, but we are much stronger than we had ever been before. So that's the number one. Correct understanding of the society. But secondly, if you have a different understanding, at least don't